I discovered a lump in my breast, a growth on my skin. I have excessively heavy periods. There is a stomach issue that is unknown. Among other stories are very common, and they are often met with anxiety and the question of, could it be cancer? It gets worse when a diagnosis of cancer is actually made. Brain tumors, lung tumors, cervical tumors, breast tumors, among many other types of cancers. It is often taken as a death sentence. But actually, cancer does lose. So how does it lose? We start off with what is cancer. Cancer begins in the cells. Normal cells will grow and divide to form new cells as the body needs. And when they get old or damaged, they die and new ones form. When this process gets wrong, then it forms what we call cancer cells. Cancer cells are less specialized and they have no specific function, hence they divide uncontrollably. They also have the ability to ignore signals that tell the cells when to stop dividing or to begin a process called programmed cell death or apoptosis. They also have the ability to influence normal cells, molecules, and blood vessels that surround them, which we call the microenvironment, to feed a tumor such that it can cause blood vessels to develop so that it can supply nutrients and oxygen as well as remove waste. They also have the ability to evade the immune system, and thus the immune system is not able to eliminate. Now, once we have now the cells growing uncontrollably, they will build up and form a mass of tissue, which we call growth or tumor. Not all tissue changes are cancerous, because before we have cancer, we have abnormal changes. For example, we usually have what we call hyperplasia, increase in cells, but they look normal under the microscope. We also have what we call dysplasia. The cells have increased in the tissue, but they are abnormal in terms of size and shape. How does cancer arise? Cancer is a genetic disease, and it is caused by changes or mutations in the genes that control cell functions, particularly those that control cell division. It can occur at micro level at the DNA sequence. For example, at this region, we can have a mutagenic effect where we have the deletion of a base like G, or we have the insertion of a base like A, and hence the pair now becomes AT, or where we have a substitution of a base G with A. We can also have it occurring at a micro level, at the chromosomal level, where we can have the section of the chromosome being deleted. We can also have the section of the chromosome being duplicated. We can also have an inversion. It is removed, inverted, and then returned to the same position. We can also have a substitution where we have two chromosomes, where we have one now section getting into the next chromosome, and we can also have a translocation where the two chromosomes will exchange genetic material and form two new chromosomes. We have what you call drivers of cancer, because genetic changes tend to affect three main types of genes. We have Proton Code genes, tumor suppressor genes, and DNA repair genes. Proton Code genes usually are involved in normal cell growth and division, and when they are altered, they become oncogenes, which we also call cancer-causing genes, that allow cells to grow and survive when they are not supposed to. Tumor suppressor genes, from their name, they suppress cell division and growth. Now, if they are altered, it means that the cell is going to divide uncontrollably. DNA repair genes usually are involved in fixing of errors that occur during cell division, and the alteration will cause the cells to develop mutations in other genes, and eventually this can cause cancer. How do mutations occur? We can have them being inherited from generations to generations. That is why if you have a family member who has had a certain type of cancer, it is possible that you or your generations will get the cancer. Acquired mutations occur to your lifetime, and they can be due to random copying mistakes. We talked about the mistakes that occur during cell division. If they are not corrected, they could lead to acquired mutations. or damage to DNA by environmental exposure, such as ionizing radiation, UV, X-rays, tobacco smoke, alcohol, among others. We could also have mutations that occur due to certain infections, like HIV causes a cancer called Kaposi sarcoma. Human papilloma virus will predispose women to cervical cancer, and hepatitis C virus will dispose patients to liver cancer. How does age relate to cancer? In most cases, cancer will develop as you advance in age. The main types of cancer include a carcinoma, which occurs in epithelial cells that line the inner and outer surfaces of the body. We have sarcoma in connective tissues, the bone, cartilages, muscle, leukemia in blood-forming tissue like bone marrow, lymphoma in T or B cells of the immune system, myeloma in plasma cells of the immune system, melanoma, they begin in cells that become melanocytes that produce melanin that control skin color, central nervous system cancers that begin in the brain and spinal cord, and others. These are not limited. It is important to note that cancer is often referred to as a single disease, whereas it is a diverse group of diseases that affect different types of organs and cell types, because we said a cancer is that which is able to grow cells and then they are able to move from the origin to other cells. And you note that we have been saying begin because it means that they will now begin and then start spreading to other organs. Cancer will lose each time you reduce exposure to risk. For example, by maintaining a healthy body weight through exercise, minimizing poor diet like sugars, fats, red meat, minimizing alcohol, smoking, and mutagenic chemicals. For example, if you're working in industries, it will also lose each time you have early detection and treatment by always ensuring that you do not ignore any growth in any part of your body, painless or otherwise. Taking vaccines, for example, cervical cancer has a vaccine. Also, going for regular cancer screening. Every time there is a cancer screening, ensure you go. It will also lose if you are diagnosed and treated accordingly. And ensure that you adhere to treatment, adopt a positive attitude throughout the treatment, and also seek palliative care, because this one helps ease suffering, you interact with other patients, and also enhance quality of life for yourself or loved ones. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and breast cancer usually affects 1 in 8 women, and it is also occurring in men. Have you been screened?